Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, lesser known classic. This is episode number 2780. I believe this is 3. No, this is 84. Doubleshot number 2268. Yep, first we're discussing the final trade for the Outsiders. The last ever one. Well, I've already discussed basically the next Outsiders book, which came out not long after this, which was basically Batman Outsiders Volume 3, which I do own the trades for that one. And I do know about the most recent volume, but it has nothing to do with this book at all. It's more like a Halt the Planetary. I will discuss at some point, but not right now. This one's called The Great Divide. This collects The Outsiders, Volume 4, issues 30 to 39, along with issue 40, which issue 40 got retitled to be Batman the Outsiders, Volume 2. Why the heck basically it is? I'll get to that. So, most of this book is simply put this. So, Halo has been reunited with, of course, well, with Katana. Katana's very happy to see her. I think Katana sees her like a low. She's like very happy to see her. The fact that also Byron is getting much more mentally unstable. And also the fact that Black Lightning, they finally resolved the whole thing with Simon Stagg gets reunited with Star, with Sapphire, and then she sort of disappears, and they kind of win. And then like right after this, basically, despite the fact they kind of won about the law because of Byron has done, but that does not deny him from going to see his daughter. Well, one of many ways, because his youngest daughter is part of the JSA at this period of time. Yes, he goes sees his oldest daughter, Thunder, and her girlfriend, Grace. And, of course, basically, Grace ends up rejoining Outsiders in these issues. Yes, because she was been absent for most of this book. Mainly because, basically, when this book started, with issue 1... Now, I don't blame Chuck Dixon for this. I blame, basically, whoever was writing a Five of a Kind, where... It's like they had people have to try out for their spots on the team, and somehow she didn't make it somehow, despite the fact she is an outsider. And Thunder's like, yeah, you're an outsider. And then, like, basically it's like she's not part of the team. She's not part of the team for quite a while at this point. So they agreed to work together. And, of course, Waller basically makes a deal with Black Lightning. You and your team basically comprised basically him. It was just him, Metamorpho and Owlman will get amnesty in exchange for taking down Geoforce. Which, of course, is. And, of course, the Creeper comes back in the book. He's been absent for quite a while in the book. Yeah, he's been absent since I think he kind of disappeared right after Blackest Night. Yeah, he disappeared right after he had to fight Katana's children. Well, the Black Lantern versions of them. He comes back in the book, and he joins the team. So basically, Freight Train's there too. So basically, he remembers a Black Lightning's outside. You have Black Lightning himself, Thunder, Grace, Freight Train, Metamorpho, Owlman, and the Creeper. 7 people go to Markovia. Meanwhile, though, Markovia is attacked by freaking Doomsday. Yes. Doomsday comes completely out of nowhere and just seizes Eradicator and take him out of the book. Yeah, issue 35 is part of this whole Return of Doomsday storyline, which also involved, get this, an issue of Justice League, where he got Supergirl. Which also, there was an issue of Justice League, which got Supergirl. They got, I think they got Mon-El. Because it was this book, which got Eradicator, Batman Superman number 5, which we'll discuss in the future. Excuse me. Issue of Justice League, issue 55 for that one. And it concluded and this led into Reign of Doomsday, which is a 4-part story arc, which ended Action Comics Volume 1 before it was relaunched number 1 in 2011. So yeah, Doomsday shows up, takes Eradicator, and he's out of the book. Yeah, my guess is the reason why Dan DiDio allowed this to happen, because he knew about the Return of Doomsday sub, which I believe Jurgens wrote the storyline. It was supposed to be a loose sequel to Death of Superman, so he probably knew this was happening, so he probably had him written out of the book. So basically, with Eradicator gone, Here's basically Geoforce's team. Geoforce, Katana, Halo, and that's it. Just these three. So, I think so. I'm trying to think who else is on the team. So they infiltrate Markovia. Meanwhile, though, Batman basically is back in this book. First time since issue 10. Yeah. So he goes basically, and he arranges with Waller to basically hold people off because apparently Geoforce is going to go nuclear for reasons explained here. So Batman tells her that I will go handle my team and you stand down. And she's like, fine, you have 1 hour. So he goes in, and of course you have the two outsiders fighting each other, two outsider teams, and then Batman comes in and asks like, what the heck is going on here? What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you, Geoforce? You're acting really irrational here. Yes, he points out his irrationality, the fact that pretty much the whole team basically turns against him. His own team does. So, and of course, basically, well, Batman takes the outsiders, all of the outsiders, all 13 of them. Yeah, he points out there's 13 members basically out of the country, and Byron is left by himself in his own country, and that's kind of the book ends. And then that line is, what are we going to do with 13 outsiders? I'm like, did Dan DiDio reference Lean Ween with this line? Because this is the same line that was used in Giant Size X-Men #1. Where Beast, I think it was Beast, asked the obvious question, what are we going to do with 13 X-Men? And what happened to him afterwards? They got basically integrated to Batman Incorporated. Yeah, by the way, Batman was wearing his Batman Incorporated costume in this book. Yes. Yeah, basically, if you don't know what it is, it's like an all-gray suit. It's similar to his first costume he had in New 52, except that one has lines. This one's like all-gray, no black, basically, on the tights. And the symbol on his chest, basically, is kind of like electric, where it can light up. And it's a bit like above his chest. That's kind of basically what this suit is. Now, there was a version of the suit pop up in Convergence. That's the next time it appeared. And that's kind of what happened to the Outsiders afterwards. Now, some of these members would never return after this. Namely, Fret Train, he basically never returned to current continuity. Black Lightning's children are never even mentioned. Because for some strange reason, the New 52 decided to de-age him 20 years. Make him a freaking 20-year-old with no children. And then later on, they kind of aged him up to kind of currently we're supposed to be. Now, it's completely unknown if his children, Thunder and Lightning, do exist in the current continuity. Now you're probably thinking, does Grace? Unknown. She's still one of those missing characters. This is the whole missing characters thing, from what I heard, is not a DC thing. This is something fans have been asking for a long time. Where are these characters? Like, for the longest time, people like Donna Troy and Stephanie Brown were on that list, along with Cassie Kane. People were wondering, where are these characters? People asked that for several years, and then finally got integrated back in. But yeah, this is kind of the end of Batman. This is the end of the Outsiders Volume 4. Now, the final issue is a cool little nod. I love this cover they have for the book. Where, let me show the cover here. Well, the cover of the final issue is a clear homage to Batman and the Outsiders #1. Oh yeah, also Olympian joined the team too. You're thinking, Olympian? You mean the Jack Kirby character? Yeah, for some reason they decided to move Adam to this book for some reason. I'm not sure why. He just did. And yeah, that's Batman's Batman Incorporated costume, the cover. And the cover and the line is, "The war is over. Now the Outsiders belong to me." Which, yeah, that's indeed true. So yeah, basically his team is now basically the Outsiders match Geoforce. At the end of this issue is comprised of they also Looker also returned to this book too. Yeah, she was gone for quite a while. So basically you have most of the familiar Outsiders. So you got in this final issue you have most of the members. You have Metamorpho, Geoforce, Black Lightning, Halo, Katana, Looker, You have Freight Train, Thunder, Grace. Because, yeah, you probably think, does the team disband? No, the team does not disband. The teams get merged into one. Yeah, that's kind of what happened with this group in the final issue. Ah, that's better. Now, I love the fact that they did this, where yes. Though here's a little fun fact about this book. These last few issues that came out, here's a little fun fact about these issues. I actually bought some of these issues when they came out. Yes, also Philip Tan joined the writing. So, here's your team by the end of the final issue. Black Lightning, The Creeper, Freight Train, Geoforce quit team in this issue. Grace, Halo, Katana, Looker, Olympian, Owlman, Technocrat, and Thunder. Technocrat was a character from the previous volume, which he actually returned in these issues. Yeah, it's quite surprising that they brought this character back. And why was Looker in the book? Yeah, why in the world did she return to the book? Well, the reason why, because she was after the people who returned to Vampire in Outsiders Volume 2. Yep, that was simply the reason for it. And they say 13 members by the end of the book. It's like Black. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. I guess Batman's like 13. And you have Batman smiling, and that's kind of the end of the book. Now, I gotta say, what a damn good book. Yes. Those of you curious, though, about the final 9 issues of this book, was any of these issues part of any crossovers? Now, 32 was the one that brought back the Creeper, which also brought in the Ray. Yeah, he basically appeared in the book too. And we have a character named Harold, who was a guy named Harold Winter. Yeah, he's a fairly new character. Yeah, Olympian joins the team too. So, Outsiders for Geoforce teams probably is Geoforce, Eradicator, Halo, and Katana. And I believe it was issue 35 is when Black Lightning, not Black Lightning, when Doomsday hops in the book. No, it wasn't. I think it was 36, was it? I think it was one of these issues. Okay, it was issue number 37. It was actually part 2 of the story. Yeah, Doomsday can completely out of nowhere. Yeah, I thought this was a really cool idea. I guess Stan DiDio probably knew the book was ending. So, the first part was actually in Steel, volume number 1. This is part 2 of the Outsiders book. I was on with the Outsiders issue. Justice League America was issue 55. I think this is where they got Supergirl. I believe so. I think this is the one where they got Supergirl. What about the Batman Super one? That one they got... It may have been Superman. Possibly. Of course, Superboy obviously got, well... Yeah, the whole Reign of Doomsday thing. I'll discuss this more later, but damn. But I love The Outsiders. It's one of my personal books. And up until the most recent Outsiders book that came out by Brian Edward Hill, I keep giving this right in the book too. I had they even brought back Master Disaster here. I had wanted this book to come back for the longest time. It was my number 1 book I wanted to come back, and it did. It came back. It was the second book published when I was reading comics. Now, of course, Volume 4 was publishing when I was still reading comics, but I got into it pretty late. I got into it in 2010. Yes, I mainly got into this book because Batman is part of the team. Now, those of you asking, because it was October 2010 when I got into comics. So, what issue came out in October 2010? Was issue 30? No, it was actually the final issues of this book. I would say it was probably like 33 or 34. It was probably 32. It's probably the earliest issue I got. I actually own some issues of this book. It's somewhere in the box somewhere, but I bought some of the main issues of this book because I love Batman. I think that he's one of my favorite characters, and this actually was one of my first books I got into when I got into reading DC Comics. And it took me some time, but I read every single issue of The Outsiders. And now, if you have all of them, well, excuse me. Let's get my final thoughts on Batman Outsiders Volume 2 / Outsiders Volume 4. This was an absolute amazing book. You had really good writers in the book. You had Chuck Dixon in the opening 10 issues. You had J.T. Kroll doing issues up to 4. And then you had Peter J. Tomasi do issues 15 to 25. And then, for the last writer of this book, you had Dan DiDio. Oh, by the way, one thing the previous trade did not include, I forgot to mention my last time I talked about the Outsiders, but when Metamorpho, Black Lightning, and Owlman show up at Simon's facility, the thing was heavily damaged. And they'll get and there's another reason why. Because it was attacked by the Western superheroes. Okay. But yeah, damn good book. I'm gonna give basically this trade here. It's called Divided We Fall. A 10 out of 10. Just a damn good book. And I'm sad I got the end of here. Purely because basically I gotta go at dinner. But when I get back, I'll discuss basically She-Hulk Epic Collection Volume 3. Okay? See you next video. Bye.